Hey YouTube, it's me again, Arrogant God Jealous. For my third part of the video of how I became an atheist, I'd like to talk a little bit more about how I kind of realized that God was a total jerk. Now, as I mentioned before, Passover was kind of an annoying holiday that I couldn't stand. Well, thing of it is that I kind of realized how much a jerk God really was. Then I kind of came to discover that, you know what? That wasn't even the worst thing he's ever done. I kind of looked through the Torah, kind of noticed that he was really even meaner. In fact, you could even say that he was worse than Hitler. That's really not an exaggeration. He is in fact worse than Hitler. Anyways, some of the things I've noticed was that one, when it came to Cain and Abel, which you could kind of say were kind of like his grandsons, he kind of set the entire thing up. What kind of dick would do that? You know, he basically, when the two sons came to offer their sacrifice to him, he basically was happy to accept Abel's, but then when Cain came, he said, "No way, that you didn't kill anything, so I do not like your sacrifice one bit." And that was kind of mean. And you know what? I don't blame Cain one bit for what he did. He didn't even know better. And what does God do about it? He puts a curse on him. What a jerk! But that's not the only bad thing God does. There's also Noah's Ark, where Noah managed to somehow, as cheesy as this might sound, gather two of every animal and get on board the ship. And by the way, I get the idea he might have forgotten about the dinosaurs, but we're not going to get into detail about that. Anyways, so what do you suppose happened to everyone that wasn't on board the ship? Did they just magically disappear? No. He killed them. Every last one of them. Not only all the humans on the earth, but he also killed just about all the other animals who did nothing to deserve it. What a frickin' asshole. I swear. And you say that he's not as bad as Hitler. Come on. Hitler might have killed a couple thousand Jews, but God pretty much killed everyone except Noah, his wife, his 3 sons and their wives. That's 8 humans total. And, of course, 2 of every animal. Which really doesn't do much, since that means he killed everyone else. And the dinosaurs. Now, tell me, does that really sound like a nice God? And what'd they really do? Other than maybe worship some other gods, or maybe a few petty crimes that really don't deserve death. And you know what? That's not the last thing he did that was evil. Let's not forget about poor old Sodom and Gomorrah. Now these 2 towns he claimed were wicked. Why were they wicked, you ask? Because they were tolerant towards gay people. And maybe reading Harry Potter. No, I'm kidding. That Harry Potter wasn't around back then. But anyways, they were basically not worshipping him, and they were maybe being tolerant towards gay people, which, quite honestly, that's a good thing. How does he respond to this? He kills them! Yeah. And he only spares Lot and his family, and only because Lot was probably some homophobic jerk like God. That's all he spares. And they say this guy is nice and merciful. Come on. Oh, and that's not the worst part. Do you even know about poor Abraham? This part is great. Apparently his name used to be Abram, but God says, "From now on your name shall be Abraham." And Abraham, being the pussy he is, said, "Okay." Oh, and also, your wife's name will no longer be Sarai, but Sarah. Okay. And also, your son's name will be Isaac. But I don't really like calling my name. I don't want to name him Isaac. You see, there was this guy who... I don't care. Name him Isaac or else. Fine, God, I'll name my son Isaac. But you do realize my wife is 90 years old, and that would be very unlikely. Oh, nonsense. She'll give birth to him. Trust me on this. I'll make sure of it. And then, to make it worse, what does God do once Isaac is young enough? He tells Abraham to sacrifice him. That's right, he actually tells him to go up to a mountain, which, by the way, these days, if an adult tries to take you up to a mountain, you don't need to worry about it being for a sacrifice, but you might need to be a bit worried about him taking you up for other reasons, especially if it's a Catholic priest. Okay, that was terrible, I know. Anyways, so he takes him up to a mountain, and then at the last minute, God says, "Wait, Abraham, stop! I didn't actually think you were gonna do that. Here, kill this ram instead." You know, I kind of wonder what the conversation between the two of them was afterwards, because I'm sure Isaac was pretty annoyed by his dad taking him up to a mountain about to kill him. I can only imagine the conversation on the way down. Actually, I don't need to imagine. Family Guy already took care of that one. Thank you, Seth MacFarlane. But anyways, so that's just another story of how God was a total dick. And, as I already mentioned before, slayed all the firstborn babies who did nothing to deserve it. And he even went and told Moses to kill several other people for no reason. And plenty of other things that make him an awful person. Oh yeah, did I also mention that it was his fault that we have the language barrier that's out there today? Because of him, people speak different languages. Or so they say. It's kind of a ridiculous story when you think about it, seeing as how if we were to really build a tower that tries to reach the sky, we're not going to reach heaven, we're just going to reach outer space. It's kind of bullshit when you think about it. But so anyways, what happened was I kind of realized what a jerk God was. That kind of turned me away. I'm the arrogant God jealous. Peace.